Well, Jim, let's stay on the topic of AEW Collision. I have here the AEW Collision ratings for November 4th, 2023. Again, we didn't watch this. You didn't think anything really pulled you in.
We finally just said, oh my God, we can't. We had the pay-per-view and all the other stuff going on, but did everybody else share our sentiment?
November 4th, 2023, AEW Collision on average was watched by 366,000 viewers.
Oh, Jesus Christ on a cracker? What was this, the World Series? I thought that was over.
No, the World Series is over.
What was against this? The f***ing moon landing?
There was nothing special, I don't think, really against it.
A gypsy curse?
This may be a lineup issue. I don't know. But let's go to the quarter hours. These were compiled by WrestleNomics. Quarter 1, 8 to 8:15 p.m. Backstage promos. A.R. Fox Swerve Strickland backstage angle into A.R. Fox versus I can't speak! And the windows open versus Swerve Strickland through picture-in-picture ads. 395,000 viewers.
Boy, howdy. What? All right.
Quarter 2, 8:15 to 8:30 p.m. The Mogul Embassy FTR Fox Ricky Starks Big Bill LFI House of Black live angle.
Oh my God.
That is a lot of people. We don't even know what happened. That is just, oh my God.
Count the people.
Mogul Embassy. Now, I don't know if that means Swerve, Nana.
Swerve, Nana.
And the other guys?
Let's just say, give them one more. And one more embassy.
So
who else?
One of the gates of embassy. Fox. AR Fox.
Right.
FTR.
And there you go. That's 6.
Ricky Starks and Big Bill.
8.
LFI.
That's LaFuckers and Goobers.
That is indeed them, yes.
And there's 4 of them, right?
3 and a manager, but he's pretty physical, so 4.
He's a fucking breathing human being. So but now 10, 11, 12. I got to think how many times I've bent these fingers back over. We're at 12.
And finally, the House of Black.
And there are 15 and a woman. 15 people and a woman.
I don't remember if the woman was involved in the angle here.
What did that rip snorter do?
I didn't see this, so I don't even know.
No, I'm saying what viewership did they do?
That was just the beginning of the quarter.
Oh, that was just the beginning of the end.
Then we have an MJF and Bullet Club Gold backstage promo, I guess package, I don't know, an ad break. And then Kip Sabian and the Workhorsemen, they did a backstage angle leading to nothing, I guess. Roderick Strong and the Kingdom ramp promo, and then the Kingdom versus the Crucible.
What the fuck is the Crucible?
Followed by a Christian video. This is all one quarter.
Wait a minute. The Crucible was followed by a Christian video. Are we watching Sermonette? What?
Well, we'll watch.
Is Benny Hinn the new play-by-play guy?
I don't know if Benny Hinn ever did numbers like this. 352,000 viewers.
Ouch. And I don't know what to say so far, but go ahead.
Well, quarter 3, the Mark Briscoe FTR backstage angle.
Poor Mark Briscoe is mired into all this.
Followed by Lance Archer versus Darby Allin with picture-in-picture, and the post-match with Jake Roberts bringing out his new stable, The Righteous.
Wait a minute, now, the Righteous was Vinny and Vincent, rather, and the big fella.
What was his name?
I can't remember, but the point is, Vincent did the kind of the leading and the snapping the fingers and leaned on the big fat guy and did the talking and know what I mean, man, or whatever the fuck. And now they got Jake, 70 years old, carrying an oxygen tank around with him. He's going to inject new life into those motherfuckers, of course.
I wonder
what's the...
Well, let me give the number here. Yeah, that's what I said. That was the segment. 377,000 viewers.
And it picked up. Holy God.
What are you more interested in seeing, the Kingdom versus the Crucible or the Righteous versus the Crucible?
I think we need to have a 3-way. and see which religious sect wins.
Well, we'll see who won here. Quarter 4, 8:45.
And by the way, let me just make note of this. My God, at this point, go back to the Ring of Honor internet pay-per-views that we were doing in 2010. We had bigger name stars than on this national television program.
Quarter 4, 8:45 to 9 p.m. The Chris Statlander, Willow Nightingale, Sky Blue backstage angle. An ad break. The Alex Abrahante Swerve backstage angle. Followed by the Billy Gunn and
Wait, Swerve beat up Alex?
Followed by Billy Gunn, the Acclaimed, and MJF's live promo. 364,000 viewers. I think that may have been MJF on the video screen. I don't know if he was there.
Yeah, extricate him, distance him from this in some respect, because he still lost viewers for an MJF segment.
Well, the big 9 o'clock hour is next, Jim. Quarter 5, 9 to 9:15 p.m. Billy Gunn and the Acclaimed versus Dalton Castle and the Boys.
Oh, boy.
With picture-in-picture ads. Andrade El Idolo's...
Does Dalton Castle ever team with anybody but his boys? He's just always there with his boys right in his hand.
And do they have manager's licenses? Because when they're not teaming with him, they're just running around ringside causing trouble. But back to this segment here.
Yes.
The Andrade El Idolo backstage promo, followed by Mark Briscoe and Naturally Limitless, which is Keith Lee and Dustin Rhodes.
Oh, good God.
Versus Kip Sabian and the Workhorsemen.
Kip Sabian is still getting a check. Can you believe that? And Naturally Limitless. Tony needs to set some limits on his fucking Colombian marching powder intake. Numbers, please?
That was 376,000 viewers.
376,000 viewers led the big parade. And apparently from the overall average, we're looking to go downward from here.
Well, what is this now? 6. 9:15 to 9:30 p.m. Mark Briscoe and Naturally Limitless versus Kip Sabian and the Workhorsemen continued. An ad break. Mark Briscoe's backstage promo. And the start of Emi Sakura versus Willow Nightingale with picture-in-picture 363,000 viewers.
It's a miracle they only lost 13,000 of the piss-poor pool that they had to begin with, but you got to give them credit for stability after the initial drop. They're right in the pocket there, but they've got a little ways to go.
A little ways to go here, too. Quarter 7, 9:30 to 9:45 p.m. The continuation of Emi Sakura versus Willow Nightingale. The Samoa Joe Keith Lee backstage angle. An ad break. And the start of Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and the Gates of Agony versus FTR and LFI.
Oh, good Lord.
346,000 viewers.
So they begin the main event and lose another 17,000.
And finally, quarter 8, and there's a 1-minute overrun here. Quarter 8, the continuation of Ricky Starks, Big Bill, and the Gates of Agony versus FTR and LFI. With picture-in-picture ads, 354,000 viewers. However, a 1-minute overrun featuring FTR, House of Black, Claudio Castagnoli, and Wheeler Yuta, and that did 410,000, so they picked up a lot in 60 seconds.
Yeah. I attribute it all to the amazing finish they were in the middle of. So they started with the largest audience, 395,000, and they were between 346 and 377 for the rest of the program. And at what point weren't they doing better numbers on this network with reruns of movies? That they weren't?
Let me ask you something. Based on what I just told you, just who is here on this show? Who's the top star on this show?
I don't have any idea.
Right. Usually, whether you like the person or not, like people weren't big fans of John Cena. You knew he was the top star on Raw for years. Who's the top star on Collision? Who's the big star on the show, just in general? Who's the big star on the show?
3 months ago, you knew who it was. It was Punk.
Yeah.
And then one would think that even if nothing else, by process of elimination, the world champion would be the biggest star of the company, would be the biggest star on the program, but he was barely there. And you've got a bunch of, indie fucking guys on national television. Ooh, but Jake is going to make that team, I'm telling you. I don't know what their fucking, cut and paper dolls were and everything. I think they were probably being given too much religious freedom or creative freedom or whatever and not produced well, but they had they were trying. They had some level of charisma to them especially the way Vincent was acting in such a bizarre fashion.
Yeah.
You could mold something out of that, but and it's not even knocking Jake, but how is this 70-year-old, because he's got a reputation for being an evil person in real life or whatever, being into the dark things, whatever, doing the promos.
I drink my piss.
He drinks his piss. How is he going to lend any kind of anything that he hasn't done before for anybody else to this particular team? And he's more than twice as old as they are.
The other problem is, whether it's Jake or anyone else, I'm never a big fan of having managers that tower over their wrestlers. And almost everyone Jake would tower over. He's like 6'5" or 6'6". Before any hip surgeries or whatever he's had done.
Yeah, well, I just think by this time next year, he'll be in a wheelchair and they'll be towering over him. Because it's the same thing. Tully didn't work with FTR. Arn didn't work with whoever Arn was with. With Cody, it made sense at the first. It made sense because of the Anderson Rhodes family, although he still didn't do anything, Arn, at that point. They didn't let him. But then Tony Khan loves his childhood heroes and wants to figure out a way to put them into this. But again, I was the one that was behind the times and in the 80s, and I booked all these guys to be legends and get plaques and be a special partner every once in a while as 6-man, not fucking carry the fucking companies. Am I overstating this?
What are you overstating? That Tony doesn't know what he's doing? That's really the only thing it is.
Am I overstating that I did not rely on fucking ancient talent to actually carry the weekly broadcast of whatever promotion that I was bringing legends into? They were as attractions or special occasions or ceremonies or the occasional multiple person match where, not to just have the whole population be over fucking 50.
Well, Jim, before we move on from ratings, as we talk about people over 50, I guess we could talk about the youngest audience. They just talked about in that press release. Just for the record, NXT this past week, November 7th. I don't know if they had any main roster talent on the show. 794,000 viewers.
And that is...
They're picking up steam.
Yeah, and that's the Dynamite number on Wednesday night minus, 30 or 40 with what they've been doing lately. Dynamite on Wednesdays has been doing in the 830, 850 range, except if they, of course, that's for an overall average, certainly not what they end up with, but NXT is at that level. So now the third program for the WWE is doing the same or close to the same number as the flagship program of AEW. AEW's secondary program is doing less than half the number of WWE's third program. And is Rampage now being broadcast with a projector on a barn wall somewhere in fucking East Tennessee?